Hi, I'm Lindsay Vallandingham with the Symphony Group at Keller Williams Louisville East. We're going to talk about staging your home for sale. For information like this, about selling your house, about buying a home, about the real estate market in general, you're going to want to make sure that you subscribe to our channel. First and foremost, the market that we've been in for the last several years is a seller's market. That means that there are more buyers shopping for homes now than there are homes available to purchase. So what that means is that sellers have an advantage because there are plenty of buyers looking to buy their home. And when sellers have an advantage, they don't have to do as much as they might have to do if the roles were reversed, right? In a world where there was too much inventory and not enough buyers, sellers would need to fight to make their house the cream of the crop, the best one on the market, and they might have to do more things to their house. But in the seller's market that we're in today, sellers kind of get to take a little bit of a back seat and let their home be explored by all the buyers that are in the market right now. That said, we still have some competition. We still want to sell quickly, and frankly, all the sellers that I know want to get the highest price that they possibly can for their home. So what we're going to talk about are staging tips that won't cost you money, won't cost you much time, and will really allow your house to rise to the top of the competition and get you the most money that you possibly can in the market today. These are the same tips that I give my sellers every day when I am meeting with them. First and foremost, your house has got to be clean. And when I say clean, I'm talking about eat off the floor, pristine 4-star hotel room clean. It's got to feel like the buyers are walking into a beautiful hotel, a beautiful Airbnb. It needs to feel like maybe no one lives here. It needs to be so clean that they can imagine what it's like for them to live there and not be distracted by what it's like with you living there. Clean counters, clean surfaces, clean windows to let in as much light as possible, clean floors. Really get the toothbrush in the grout lines and get your home really sparkling clean, smelling great. Get the windows open in the days before you list. Let some air move around. Make sure that there's all the pet dander is taken care of. Any kind of just little grimy stuff that we all live with in our homes every single day, that's all completely cleaned up. Cleaning takes a little time, but it doesn't necessarily have to cost much. You can buy a single bottle of cleaner and a roll of paper towels for $5 and do your entire house. That is what matters more than anything else in staging. If you decide that you want to hire a company to come in and clean your home for you, cleaning companies offer what's called a one-time deep clean. And that's what you're looking for. Typically, they're going to send a team of people for probably 8 hours and really do a top-down clean on your home, bathrooms, kitchen, floors, windows, all of it. But a real true deep clean. This isn't your stop by once a week, vacuum and make sure that the sheets are washed kind of clean. This is that detailed deep clean so that your buyer can dream of their future in the home. Along the lines with clean, we're going to talk about declutter. So I say clean and declutter. Those are the two most important steps to have your home staged to sell. Decluttering can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Getting rid of, again, most of what makes it look like you live there. Imagine that feeling when you walk into a hotel room or when you walk into a beautiful Airbnb. There can still be furniture, there can still be artwork on the walls. It can still look like a home, but maybe it doesn't look like a person lives there or a family lives there. It's really decluttered and depersonalized. I understand a lot of us are in a situation where we need to continue to live in the home while it's on the market. And that's completely understandable. It's completely normal that you would have things in your closets, have things in your cupboards, have things in your garage, in your basement. But really, in that cleaning and decluttering process, make things as tidy as possible. Go ahead, since you're moving, and start to pack up as much as you possibly can of the things that you don't need for the next 30 to 60 days. Definitely clothing that's out of season, kids' toys, books that maybe aren't stylized in such a way that they would look nice on your bookshelves, your old paperbacks, all that kind of stuff. get those things into boxes. As much of your kitchen as you can pare down. Maybe you leave with just enough plates for your family to eat, a day's worth of meals, and everything else gets packed up. You're gonna have to pack anyway, you're moving. So get things packed up into boxes, into containers. I tell my clients, if you don't want to get an offsite storage unit that costs money, totally fair. Stack those boxes in one central place. If you have an unfinished portion of your basement, that's a great place to start storing boxes. If you have a garage that you can start to use a bay of your garage, stack them nice and neat. Don't make a big mess, but keep them organized. And anyone that comes into your home will immediately sense that it's beautiful and it's spacious because there's not much clutter in here. And when they find your secret storage room in the basement with all your boxes, they'll go, oh, somebody does live here. And that's where they're storing their boxes until they move. Not a big deal at all. Doesn't cost you much money. You're moving anyway, and you don't have to put them in offsite storage or a pod storage or something like that. Now, if you're moving across the country and you want to go ahead and start putting things into a storage shipping container that's going to be stored offsite somewhere, that's perfectly fine. We wouldn't get you listed until that process was done. Really and truly, if you do nothing else and you only do those two things, clean and declutter, you will be successful. In this seller's market, it is not about putting in new flooring, updating your window treatments, putting a new roof on even. Those are not the things that we talk about when we talk about staging our homes in this seller's market. Clean and declutter will go a huge way in getting you top price for your home. If you have a little extra time or a little extra money, here's the next things that I would advise. The small items in our home that I might refer to as your owner's deferred maintenance. I know I have things in my home that I think, gosh, if I was ever going to sell my home, I would need to address that. We're talking about things that are broken, things that are chipped, cracked, things that are a little unsightly, but I'm not talking about the big ticket items. I'm talking about the little things. Maybe you have a light fixture that has one cracked shade, or maybe you have a doorknob to an exterior door that doesn't work well, or maybe you have a closet door, those bifold closet doors that's come off of its hinges. Those little things that, hopefully don't cost too much money, don't take too much time. You've lived with them the way they are. Those are the kind of things that you would probably want to address if you have the extra time and the extra money to do so, just to make the final little touches on your home spick and span. The next thing that I would mention is the exterior of your home. There's a lot that you can do outside for not much money. You can definitely make sure that the lawn is neat and trimmed, that your leaves are raked up, that there aren't any large limbs that have fallen, that debris in general from your yard is cleaned up. But in addition to general just lawn maintenance, you could consider doing some mulch in the front, maybe planting some flowers if it's the right season, just to make your home have a lot of curb appeal, a lot of attraction. And here's a big one for you: the front door. As a real estate agent, I spend a lot of time at the front door with my buyer clients, and I'm trying to get the lockbox open, and I finally get the key out, and I'm trying to get it to work in the doorknob. Every house in the world has a different configuration for how that lock and key system works, and it takes real estate agents a minute to figure it out. And during that minute that real estate agents are futzing with that key and trying to get in the door, the buyers are standing there and looking around. They spend more time at your front door than probably anywhere else in your home. So make sure that your front door is tidy, that you've swept away any cobwebs that might be there, that the knob and the lock mechanism are in good working order. If you've got chipped paint on your front door, windows that need to be cleaned on your front door, make sure that that area is very cleaned up and tidy, because buyers stand in that spot probably longer than they stand in any other spot in your entire home while they're on that showing, because it just takes time to get the lockbox open, get the door unlocked, and get the buyers inside. Your front door is their first impression of your home. So if that's not tidy, if there's spider webs, if it looks unkept, they're making a mental impression of, if it's got spider webs out here, who knows what it looks like inside. They're maybe not even conscious of the thoughts that are going through their head, but it being very pristine at the front door can also immediately make them feel like, wow, this must be a spotless home. Make your front door area super nice and neat. Last but not least, paint is one of the least expensive things that we can do to change a home in a big way. So if you have very bright and vivid colors in your home that you may love, that may go perfectly with your decor, that would be sort of the lowest ranking, but that would be the third thing that I would talk about if you were going to spend a little money and invest in your home to put it on the market. I would invest in paint. Being relatively inexpensive, you can do it yourself. Obviously, you can hire in a painter to address these sort of things. Any sort of dark or bright colors should be neutralized if at all possible. From being clean to being decluttered, what we want is we want our buyer to envision their life in the home. And for as much as possible to not be thinking about you or your life that you had in the home. We want them thinking about their future. We want them dreaming up where their furniture is going to go, who's going to have what bedroom, their picnics that they're going to have on the deck in the backyard. We want them dreaming about that home and falling in love with their life there. And it's a lot easier to do when they are not focused on the color of the wall, having to change the color of the wall. It's the kind of thing that buyers in this market are used to having to think about because there just aren't enough homes out there. And so they come in with a good impression of being able to roll up their sleeves and change the color. But again, if you're trying to rise above the competition, be the home that has already been neutralized. And with a neutral palette, they can envision what colors they might want to put on the wall when they move in. This is really about the buyer's vision for their future life in the home. The home must be clean. It must be decluttered and depersonalized so that it doesn't appear like anyone lives there. If at all possible, spend some time addressing the front door, the front lawn, the buyer's first impression of the home, and finally, anything that you might depersonalize inside as far as paint color goes, and really go with a neutral color. Neutral can be white, it can be light gray, it can be tan, it can be any number of neutral colors. Use the palette of your floors and your cabinets and play off of that to choose a neutral color. For individual personalized staging advice, reach out to us at symphonyrealtygroup@gmail.com.